Look.
Have you ever caught yourself stargazing and wondering what lies beyond this planet of ours? Well, if you live in a polluted city, probably not. Most of us are familiar with the many ways that Earth is polluted by air, land, and water, but did you know that light is one of the most prominent forms of pollution today? After hours of research, I understand that light pollution has many effects on our environment and humans. It robs us of our night sky, deters us from substantial sleep, and represents a waste of electrical energy. So what exactly is light pollution? Basically, light pollution is caused by a stray of artificial light sources that are too bright, poorly aimed, or both. City lights, street lights, car lights, etc. create a sky globe concealing our view of the stars. According to Kids National Geographic, on a normal night you can see at least 2,000 to 3,000 stars without special equipment, but in a light polluted city it is possible to see only 200 stars. This picture was taken in Ontario, Canada during the 2003 region-wide blackout. On the right, you can see that this was before the blackout occurred and many street lights and car lights were on, obscuring the night stars. On the right is during the blackout, and there were no artificial light sources to block the sky, so you could see all of the stars that are visible. Now that we have a better understanding of what light pollution is, we can more easily explore some effects. Scientists have accumulated evidence of the impact of heavy light pollution, particularly disruption of sleep. Some of you may be thinking, how does light disrupt my sleep? Well, think about it. Can you fall asleep with the lights on in your room? I know that I can't. I have to sleep with a sleep mask on in order to block all sources of light. But if you can, you probably won't get the deepest sleep as you would in a dark room. In 2009, Luz Claudio noted that exposure to artificial light may disrupt many biological functions in humans, specifically melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone produced in response to darkness. It helps with the tightening of circadian rhythms and puts one in a state of quiet wakefulness that can help you fall asleep. Light takes a toll on circadian rhythms as well. These are the body's eternal clocks that lets it know when to be alert and when to rest. The light enters the eye, the body knows when it's time to wake up. When only exposed to natural light, your body will become synchronized with sunrise and sunset, staying awake during the day and sleeping, of course, at night. Electricity, though, creates excess light sources in this modern civilization, which affects the brain's circadian pacemaker. The type of light and the duration of exposure have different impacts. While long periods of artificial light are more effective, even brief bouts of light can disrupt this cycle. Artificial light exposure in excess or in opportune times can cause a person's circadian rhythm to be out of whack and out of sync with the day and night cycle. This can disrupt their sleep and have other negative health consequences. Lastly, aside from the loss of stars in view, light pollution has more quantifiable dangerous sides. Merrill Walker of International Astronomical Union stresses one model of Los Angeles that suggests it destroys about 7% of smog-eating chemicals that build up in the dark, leading to a 5% jump in wheeze-inducing ozone pollution during the day. Because emissions emerge from so many sources, calculating the exact amount of energy lost to inefficient or useless artificial light is challenging. But the International Dark Sky Association estimates that 35% of artificial light is wasted by unshielded or poorly aimed outdoor lighting. This equates in the U.S. alone to about $3.3 billion a year spent on 21 million tons of released and wasted carbon dioxide every year. To put that into perspective, that is enough to illuminate over 11 million homes and power almost 800,000 cars. In conclusion, rising and widespread usage of unnecessary light at night not only distorts our perspective of the universe, but also has negative impacts on sleep and energy consumption. I have lived on the countryside of Murfreesboro for most of my life. Prior to my research, I had no idea that light pollution was the cause of why I did not see as many stars as there truly are. When light pollution dims the sky, it is easy to forget that we live on a planet orbiting through space. It provides a sense of belonging and connection. Consider all the brilliant brains who have been inspired by gazing up at the night sky. In 2020, Monica Darren recalls that she took American students who have never lived anywhere without electricity to Tanzania. Tanzania. They were so amazed because they had never seen this, an unhindered view of the galaxy.